Gizmo's devised a cannon for the goo glide.
Will you
But
shut up
instead of
already?
bullets, it flips quacks.
It's
Squeaky
time Kong
distractions
do
for the triple
a
attentive
review
puff,
of
which will
Biomutant.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? I am the Video Game Viewer, and today I'm bringing you the review of Biomutant. So guys, if you're new to my channel, especially my reviews, I rate my games on various categories: gameplay, story, graphics, and sound. So gameplay's up first. Biomutant is an action RPG set in a fantasy realm. It uses Kung Fu style combat mixed with melee weapons and firearms. When you first start out the game, you're going to select your class, as you can see here. And it's going to play out like any other RPG. You know, you have your tank, your mage, but in this it's called a Psi. And then you choose your various attributes, which determines what your physical appearance is going to look like. And from there you go on to edit your character more. You can pick the fur color and all this different stuff. I went with the Psi, and because I like magic and I want to be able to use really cool abilities. Here you can see that there's different biomes in the world that you're going to be traversing. So you have to build resistance to these different biomes or you'll die going into them. So you can pick a starter resistance, which I picked the toxicity one. And then from here you can pick your fur pattern, and then, as I said, you can choose your color. Gameplay wise, I found the combat to be somewhat difficult at first. I'm playing on PC. I don't know what it's like on the Xbox or PlayStation. I'm assuming it's slightly simpler, but with the keyboard I found it a little trying at first, but I quickly got the hang of it, and everything runs really smooth. There are a couple things the game doesn't explain to you right away, like how to use your special abilities. I had to tinker around to figure out how to do that. Movement is with the mouse and to look around and move your camera, and then WSAD is obviously to move forward, backward, left and right, spacebar to jump. Your typical fanfare on PC. Again, combat was fun. I found the mixture of using the melee and the magic and the guns to be a fun combo. If I had to say what this game is like, I would say it's like The Legend of Zelda meets Kung Fu Panda, and they had a baby, and out came Biomutant. You can kind of think of the combat too as Devil May Cry-ish, where you're switching it up between ranged and melee weapons. I really like when the comic book style things pop up on the screen, like pow and kablam and different stuff like that. So gameplay wise, I found it really engaging. Exploring was fun. The world was interesting enough that it made me want to go off the beaten path. So that brings us to our next category, which is story. So the story of this, and guys, I'm not going to give any spoilers here. This is a spoiler-free review, but what I'm about to tell you is very early on in the game. So I'm not ruining anything for you, but your character, has certain flashbacks in the beginning of the game, and you see that his mother was killed, and after his mother was killed, he kind of became a loner. He went off on his own, and just wanted to be away from people, and he's now returning to his homelands. And what he finds is the tree of life that gives energy to the whole planet is being devoured by 4 world eaters. And along with that, the tribes of the world are at war with each other. They all have their different opinions of what should be done with the tree of life and what should be done with these world eaters. And your mother used to have all the tribe leaders as students back in the day. So they all remember you from your childhood. And it's kind of up to you to go through and
He presents himself as out of date.
choose which tribes you want to ally with, which tribes you want to betray, and based on those decisions is going to determine how you tackle the Tree of Life and the 4 World Eaters. And so that's the basic premise of the game. You're just trying to stop these World Eaters and fight alongside these tribes or against these tribes to reunite the world. One thing that I do want to mention, it kind of ties into the gameplay, but it also kind of ties into the story. You can choose how you want to be. There's a morality system in the game. You can choose to be really good or really bad. I pretty much chose right away to be a total dick, because looking at the powers, it just seemed like the powers of being a total dick were way cooler than being good. So I'm naturally following the course of evil, and that comes with certain consequences. In fact, I have a clip here of me being just a bad person at some point, and I just mainly made that decision based on the powers you're going to unlock. They look way cooler than the good. So as you can see here, from time to time, these different dialogue choices will pop up, and I sack this guy right in the face, and then you have these little devil pop up on your shoulder, and then, you know, an angel pops up too, and there's a karma system at play here, and you know, it will affect the story, but it'll also affect what sort of abilities you can do down the line and different things like that. So next up we have graphics, guys, and I would say the graphics are a bit of a mixed bag. Sometimes the graphics look amazing in this game. The vast open world, the colors are vibrant, they pop. It looks so good. The draw distance is just really good. And then other times, during certain cutscenes, the graphics are muddy and the textures look horrible. And objects in the foreground look good, but objects in the background look very blurry and distorted and just weird looking. Then other times you have like these cutscenes like you're seeing in the background here that have this really cool art style and it looks amazing. I would say graphically they did a really good job with the colors in the game. Like I said, colors are vibrant, they pop. It looks really cool. But graphically I don't think there's anything too special here. I did notice some frame rate dips from time to time, but nothing that ruined my overall experience. So graphically, guys, I would just say it's passable, but it's not great. Now moving on to sound design. The voice acting in this is good, but you only hear one voice, and that's the narrator. The other characters are kind of speaking their own language, so you'll get a bunch of gobbledygook coming out of them, and then this animatronic cricket that lives on your shoulder or stays with you through the whole game, he narrates or translates what they're saying. This quickly becomes very, very annoying. I don't know why they didn't have voice acting for the game. Maybe THQ Nordic was trying to cut down on costs, but the only voice you'll hear through the whole game that's understandable is the narrator, and it just drones on and on to the point where, like, I'm ready to turn it off. Luckily, they did make it an option in the options to turn the narrator off, so you could just read what's going on the screen, and I may end up doing that at some point. Musically, the musical score, I love it. There's very good ambient sound in the game, and the music has this nice swell to it when the action kicks in, and this nice, like, toned down, relaxing music that kind of plays. You can hear it here. Like, just this sound of violins and this low-key music that gives to the emotion that you should be feeling, or while you're exploring, or whatever situation you're in. The music really lends credence to that situation. So, bravo in the music department, but a piss poor job, I think, for the voice acting and the direction they went with that. Because, again, the narrator is kind of annoying. Now, outside of those things, I do want to just give some insight as to some other things I've seen in the game. The narrator, or the writing for this, is very childlike. It uses a lot of words like the gobbledygoo and the flimflams and the quackity quacks, and it really, guys, it just sounds like Dr. Seuss on acid, okay? And half the time I don't even have any clue what they're talking about. This game is obviously geared more towards kids, or maybe like early teens. That doesn't mean I'm not having fun with the game, because I am, because I find the combat actually kind of addictive once you get good at it and you get into a flow. But the game, the writers and the writing for the game was very odd. So, and they use a lot of odd words. So, that's just one thing I've kind of noticed about that. Also, guys, I've gone through a couple of the puzzles in the game already, and man, are they so super easy. And I was kind of hoping for at least somewhat of a challenge with the puzzles. I was hoping more of a Zelda-styled temple dungeon crawl, and then it end or culminate in a big boss battle. But it just doesn't kind of seem like it's going to go in that direction at any point. And again, the puzzles are just super easy. A toddler could figure them out. So I was kind of disappointed with that. The puzzles aren't very varied either. They're almost the same each and every time. So, and the quests are kind of simplistic as well. It's go here, fetch this, bring it back, rinse, wash, and repeat. So I wish they would have varied the quests more, made it a little more interesting, or what you're going to do had a little more impact or meaning, or you felt more of a connection to what you're going and doing. Now, guys, I'm always going to give you an honest review. I'm not a sponsored YouTuber. I don't get early access to these games. I don't get review copies of any of these games. So I'm always going to give an honest review. Some of these YouTubers out there, they get review keys. Of course they're going to say that the game is great, because they want the company to keep feeding them these free games and review keys, and just, I'm not going to do that. So this is an honest review of the game. The game is fun in certain areas and not so fun in others. The childlike nature of the game, the sections of the game that are clearly geared towards younger audiences I didn't like. I wish it would have had more of a mature tone to it. I don't mind if some things are a little simplistic, but I'm an adult with a brain, and I'd like it to be more of a challenge, I guess. I did find the combat fun. I'm enjoying myself with the storyline so far. I feel involved in it. I wish the quests were a little more diverse. But overall, Biomutant isn't really a terrible game. So, anyway, guys, if I had to give a score to the game, I would say it gets a 7 out of 10, guys. It's good. It's not great. It's a game that's probably going to be beaten once, maybe twice if you want to try a different class, and then it'll get shelved and you'll move on to the next thing. It's not this year's gaming blockbuster sleeper hit, but it's entertaining for now and something to play. So if you are bored and you're looking for something to play, I would recommend you check out Biomutant. I wish the price wasn't as high as it was. I feel like it could have been maybe $39.99 or $29.99. It certainly is not worth $59.99 for the content you get within the game. Now, granted, you get the crafting of the weapons and all that stuff, but all this is just very simplistic when it boils down to everything, and it just feels like the game is lacking something, and I can't quite put my finger on what. Anyway, guys, if you like what you saw here and you want to see more of this type of content, then make sure you hit that like, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications of when I upload next. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.